Thank you for visiting my channel. Before we start, please hit the subscribe, like, and share buttons to receive notification of future presentations. Our topic for discussion are the rights of an owner or the bundle of rights under property law. The bundle of rights are composed of the following. 1. Jus ottendi or the right to enjoy and receive what the property produces. 2. Jus fruendi, the right to receive fruits. 3. Jus accessiones, the right to the accessories. 4. Jus abutendi, the right to consume a thing by use. 5. Jus disponendi, the right to alienate, encumber, transform, or even destroy the thing owned. 6. Jus vindicandi, the right to recover possession of the property based on a claim of ownership. And 7. Jus possedendi, the right to possess the property which is implied from all the other rights. These rights are rooted in Roman law or Jus Romanum and continue to influence civil law systems, including the Civil Code of the Philippines. The first right of an owner is the right to use or jus ottendi. The right to use or jus ottendi allows an owner to utilize their property in any lawful manner, provided it does not infringe on the rights of others and they comply with zoning laws, environmental regulations, and health codes. This right is subject to legal restrictions, zoning laws, environmental laws, and agreements with third parties like lease contracts or restrictions under easements. In one case, the City of Manila passed an ordinance banning motels in certain areas affecting private business owners. The Supreme Court ruled the ordinance unconstitutional as it unduly restricted the right of property owners to use their land for lawful businesses. The property owners have the right to use their property unless restricted by law, for example, zoning laws. Zoning laws may require special permits for commercial properties in residential zones, and industrial operations near residential areas may be regulated for public safety. In another case, the Supreme Court ruled that while a landowner can use and modify their property, it must not cause harm or nuisance to others. A property owner can build, renovate, or modify his house, but he cannot construct something that blocks public access, invades others' property, or violates building codes. This statutory restriction is based on Article 431 of the New Civil Code, which says, "The owner of a thing cannot make use thereof in such a manner as to injure the rights of a third person." A tenant used a rented space for a business instead of residential purposes, violating the lease agreement. The Supreme Court ruled that use of rented property is limited by lease agreements and landlords can impose reasonable restrictions. If you lease a property, your use is subject to the lease contract. Example, no subleasing, no commercial use if only for residential purposes. In a case, the Supreme Court upheld the government's right to restrict private property use to protect the environment. Even if you own land, you cannot exploit it in a way that causes environmental destruction. Therefore, you can farm and develop your land, but you cannot cut trees or mine without government permits. In conclusion, the right to use or jus ottendi is a fundamental right of property owners, but it is not absolute. It is subject to the following. 1. Lease agreements. These are limitations by contract. 2. Zoning laws. These are restrictions on property use. 3. Environmental laws. Protection against harmful use. And 4. Nuisance laws. Use should not harm others. The second right of an owner is the right to the fruits or profits or jus fruendi. The right to the fruits or profits or jus fruendi is the right of an owner to enjoy and derive income or benefits from their property, such as rental income from a leased house or dividends from shares. This right is recognized under Article 441 of the New Civil Code, which states, "To the owner belongs the natural fruits, the industrial fruits, and the civil fruits." Article 442 of the New Civil Code gives us the definition of natural fruits, industrial fruits, and civil fruits. The right to the fruits or jus fruendi allows the owner of a property to enjoy the natural, industrial, or civil fruits it produces. This means that any income or benefit derived from a property belongs to its rightful owner unless an agreement or law states otherwise. Rental income belongs to its rightful owner unless an agreement or law states otherwise. In one case, the Supreme Court ruled that rental income is a civil fruit of the property and the owners had the right to demand rent payments. If you lease out a house, apartment, or building, you have the right to collect rent as part of your ownership benefits. If the tenant refuses to pay, you can file an ejectment case to recover possession and unpaid rent. A tenant refused to turn over the harvested crops to the heirs of the owners of the farm. The Supreme Court ruled that agricultural produce is a natural fruit of the land and belongs to the landowner unless covered by a tenancy or agrarian reform law. If you own a farmland, you are entitled to the crops and harvests, but if there is a lease agreement or agrarian reform program, the tenant or farmer may also have a share under the law. A businessman defaulted on a loan and the bank foreclosed his commercial property which was earning rental income. The Supreme Court ruled that once ownership is transferred, the new owner, in this case the bank, has the right to receive rental income from tenants. If you buy a commercial building with existing tenants, you inherit the right to collect rental payments unless a contract states otherwise. A shareholder demanded dividends from a company despite not holding enough shares. The Supreme Court ruled that only legal owners of shares are entitled to dividends, which are considered civil fruits of stock ownership. If you own shares in a corporation, you have the right to receive dividends, whether in cash or stock, if declared by the company. However, preferred shareholders may have priority over common shareholders. In one case, a property was placed under usufruct, allowing a person to use it and collect income without owning it. The Supreme Court ruled that under Article 562 of the New Civil Code, a usufructuary or the person granted the usufruct has the right to enjoy the fruits or rental income, harvest, etc., but cannot sell the property itself. If someone grants you usufruct over a house or land, you can collect rent or enjoy its benefits, but you cannot sell or transfer the property. Article 562 states, usufruct gives a right to enjoy the property of another with the obligation of preserving its form and substance unless the title constituting it or the law otherwise provides. This is an exception to the rule that to the owner belongs the income and benefits from his property. In a contract of usufruct, a person known as the usufructuary is allowed to use and enjoy someone else's property, the property of the naked owner, without owning it as long as the former does not alter or destroy it. This right is often granted for a specific period, the lifetime of the usufructuary, or under conditions stated in an agreement. If someone grants you usufruct over a house or land, you can collect rent or enjoy its benefits, but you cannot sell or transfer the property. The key features of a usufruct are: 1. Right to use and enjoy. The usufructuary can live in, rent out, or use the property to generate income. 2. No ownership transfer. The naked owner retains ownership but cannot exercise full control until the usufruct expires. And 3. Obligation to maintain. The usufructuary must take care of the property but is not usually responsible for major repairs. Conclusion: the jus fruendi principle means that if you legally own property, you have the right to all its natural and financial benefits. However, certain contracts, lease agreements, agrarian laws, or corporate rules may modify how profits are distributed. The third right of an owner is the right to accession or jus accessiones. The right to accession or jus accessiones is based on Article 440 of the New Civil Code, which states, "The ownership of property gives the right by accession to everything which is produced thereby or which is incorporated or attached thereto either naturally or artificially." The right of accession is a legal principle which states that the owner of a thing also owns everything that is produced by, incorporated, or attached to it either naturally or artificially. They are of two types. First, accession discreta or natural accession, which refers to the ownership of the fruits of the property, and second, accession continua or artificial accession, which refers to the ownership of things incorporated or attached to the property. A river deposited soil on private land, expanding the property. The Supreme Court ruled that accretions or gradual deposits of soil belong to the riparian owner under Article 457 of the New Civil Code. Article 457 states, "To the owners of lands adjoining the banks of rivers belong the accretion which they gradually receive from the effects of the current of the waters." So, if a river or sea gradually deposits soil on your land, you own the additional land. However, if the land expansion is due to artificial means like reclamation projects, it belongs to the state unless otherwise granted. A person built a house on another's land without permission. The Supreme Court ruled that the landowner owns the house, but the builder may be compensated under Article 448 of the Civil Code. If someone builds on your land without permission, the structure belongs to you. If you build on someone else's land in good faith, they may compensate you or let you remove the structure. Two owners combined materials to build a new object, and one of them claimed full ownership. The Supreme Court ruled that ownership depends on the relative value of contributions under Articles 466 to 469 of the New Civil Code. If you combine your materials with another person's, ownership is proportionate to contribution. If one party's contribution is more valuable or essential, they may claim full ownership and pay the other for their share. Articles 466 to 469 of the New Civil Code are reproduced hereunder for easy reference. A company modified copyrighted content and claimed it as a new work. The Supreme Court ruled that derivative works still recognize the original owner's rights unless proper authorization is granted. If you own intellectual property, modifications and adaptations must respect your original rights. If someone modifies your work, they must acknowledge your ownership or secure your permission. In conclusion, the right to accession or jus accessiones ensures that a property owner also owns anything naturally or artificially attached to their property. However, disputes may arise and laws define ownership based on circumstances. Accession natural means natural additions like soil deposits or crops belong to the landowner. Accession industrial means buildings and improvements belong to the landowner unless made in good faith. Accession artificial means movable objects attached to land become part of it. Accession by combination means mixed materials belong to owners based on contribution. And accession in IP means intellectual works derived from originals must recognize the original owner. The fourth right of an owner is the right to dispose or destroy or jus abutendi. Jus abutendi is a legal term in property law that refers to the right of an owner to use, enjoy, and even dispose of their property as they see fit, including consuming, destroying, or altering it, so long as it does not violate any laws or rights of others. It is one of the key components of ownership along with jus utendi and jus fruendi. In simple terms, Jus abutendi is what allows you to sell, donate, demolish, or otherwise dispose of your property however you wish. This right is based on the first sentence of Article 428, which says, "The owner has the right to enjoy and dispose of a thing without other limitations than those established by law." Hence, the owner can sell, lease, donate, or transfer ownership of his property. If you own a house, you may renovate or demolish it provided you comply with building codes and permits. However, destruction of heritage sites or cultural properties is restricted. A person burned a pile of documents on their private land, and the Supreme Court ruled that while owners can destroy their property, laws prohibit acts that create public hazards like illegal burning of waste and toxic emissions. Therefore, you can destroy or burn your personal belongings as long as you comply with local ordinance and laws that protect public safety, like air pollution and fire hazards. A family member destroyed heirloom furniture inherited from an estate. The Supreme Court ruled that heirs who jointly own property cannot unilaterally destroy it without consent from co-owners. Therefore, you can destroy personal property like food, clothes, gadgets if you fully own it. However, if co-owned, you must get consent from the other co-owners before destruction. Here are some examples of jus abutendi, or the right to dispose of property. 1. Selling property. 2. Donating property. 3. Demolishing a structure. 4. Burning firewood. 5. Converting land use. 6. Cutting down trees. 7. Destroying personal belongings. And 8. Throwing away possessions. In all these cases, the owner exercises their right to dispose of, consume, or even destroy their property as they wish, as long as they are within legal limits, like environmental laws, zoning laws, nuisance, and contracts. In conclusion, the right to dispose or destroy, or jus abutendi, means that an owner has full control over their property, even to destroy, consume, or let it go to waste. However, legal limits exist, like number 1, property contracts. If leased, mortgaged, or co-owned, restrictions apply. 2, environmental and safety laws. Destruction must not harm the public. And 3, public interest. The government may intervene to protect public interest. The fifth right of an owner is the right to transfer or sell, or jus disponendi. The right to dispose, or jus disponendi, is the owner's right to sell, donate, lease, mortgage, or otherwise transfer property. This right is fundamental to ownership but may be limited by laws, contracts, or third-party rights. This right is based on Article 428 of the New Civil Code, which says, "The owner has the right to enjoy and dispose of a thing without other limitations other than those established by law." A person donated land to a private individual, but it was later contested. The Supreme Court ruled that owners can donate property, but if land is public domain or covered by agrarian reform, it cannot be donated. You can donate property to individuals, charities, or the government. However, if property has legal restrictions like public lands, agrarian land, donations may not be valid. A landowner leased property to a tenant but later sold the land. The Supreme Court ruled that sale does not automatically cancel a valid lease, and the buyer must honor the lease agreement. You can lease your property even if planning to sell it. However, if property is sold while leased, the tenant's rights may remain valid. The sixth right of an owner is the right to recover or reclaim, or jus vindicandi. The owner has the right to recover their property from anyone unlawfully possessing it through legal remedies like action reivindicatoria, or recovery of ownership, or action publiciana, or recovery of possession. This is based on Article 428, which says in part, The owner has also a right of action against the holder and possessor of the thing in order to recover it. The right to vindicate or jus vindicandi is the owner's right to recover possession of their property from anyone unlawfully holding or using it. This applies to stolen property, unlawfully occupied land, or property held without the owner's consent. This right is also based on Article 429 of the New Civil Code, which says, the owner or lawful possessor of a thing has the right to exclude any person from the enjoyment and disposal thereof. For this purpose, he may use such force as may be reasonably necessary to repel or prevent an actual or threatened unlawful physical invasion or usurpation of his property. In one case, the Carpo spouses were illegally deprived of their land by a fraudulent transaction. The Supreme Court ruled that the original owners had the right to reclaim their property and ordered the cancellation of fraudulent titles. If someone illegally occupies your land, you can file an ejectment case or recovery of ownership case. If your land title is fraudulently transferred, you can petition for its cancellation. In another case, a landowner discovered squatters on their property and filed for ejectment. The Supreme Court ruled that owners have the right to evict illegal occupants through proper legal procedures. If someone illegally occupies your land, you can file an ejectment case. If the occupant claims ownership, the dispute must be resolved in a court of law. In another case, a co-heir took full control of inherited land and refused to share it. The Supreme Court ruled that co-owners or heirs have the right to reclaim their rightful share. If a co-owner refuses to share property, you can file a partition case. If the property was already divided legally, your right to reclaim may be limited. A property was mistakenly sold by an unauthorized person. The Supreme Court ruled that fraudulent sales do not transfer valid ownership and the true owner has the right to recover the property. If your property was fraudulently sold, you can file a case for annulment of sale. If the buyer acted in good faith, they may claim compensation or damages. In conclusion, the right to vindicate or jus vindicandi ensures that property owners can recover their property from illegal possession. However, legal procedures must be followed. With respect to stolen property, owners can reclaim it even from buyers subject to the rules on prescription. With respect to illegal occupants, landowners can file ejectment cases. With respect to leased property, owners can recover property after a lease ends. With respect to co-owned property, co-owners or co-heirs can demand their rightful share, and with respect to fraudulent sales, owners can annul sales made under fraud or mistake. And finally, the seventh right of an owner is the right to possess or jus possidendi. The owner has full control and dominion over their property, whether real or personal. This is a fundamental aspect of ownership. The right to possess or jus possidendi allows a lawful owner to physically control and occupy their property. This right is protected by law but can be limited by legal claims like lease, mortgage, or adverse possession. In one case, Yap owned private property but informal settlers occupied it. The Supreme Court ruled that ownership includes the right to possess, so Yap had the legal authority to evict the squatters. If illegal settlers occupy your land, you can file ejectment case or rep levin. In another case, a landlord tried to evict a tenant before the lease expired. The Supreme Court ruled that a lessee has temporary possession, but the owner retains the right to reclaim possession after the lease term. A landlord cannot forcibly evict a tenant before the lease ends. However, once the lease expires, the owner has the right to regain possession. A borrower defaulted on a mortgage loan and PNB foreclosed the property. The Supreme Court ruled that until foreclosure is final, the owner retains possession of the property. If you mortgage your property, you still have the right to possess it unless foreclosure is completed. Banks can only take possession after proper foreclosure proceedings. In another case, a property was mortgaged by one co-owner without the consent of the other co-owners. The Supreme Court ruled that a co-owner cannot unilaterally mortgage the whole property without the consent of the other co-owners. You can mortgage property you fully own if co-owned mortgaging requires consent from all the other co-owners. A family occupied land without title for over 30 years and claimed ownership through prescription or adverse possession. The Supreme Court ruled that possession does not always lead to ownership, but under certain conditions, long-term possession may grant legal ownership. If someone possesses a piece of land openly, continuously, and exclusively for 30 years, private land, or 10 years with just title and good faith, they may claim ownership through prescription. A usufructuary, or the person granted usufruct, occupied a house without owning it. The Supreme Court ruled that under Article 562 of the Civil Code, usufruct allows a person to possess and use property without the right to sell. If someone grants you usufruct, you can live in the house, rent it out, and collect income. However, you cannot sell or mortgage it. In conclusion, the right to possess or jus possidendi means that if you own a property, you have full control over its possession. However, this right can be limited if it is subject to lease, usufruct, or pledge, challenged by adverse possession or illegal possession, or enforced by eviction or foreclosure. Thank you. If you find this presentation helpful, please subscribe to receive notification of future lectures.